we have a lot to talk about tonight.
That we do, my friend. This is the Purple Rain Podcast. This is episode 4, I believe. 4?
4 or 5. 4 or 5.
Yeah, I think it's 4. But yeah, we're back again. Disappointed again. We know you guys are disappointed. All the Ravens fans watching. If you're not a Ravens fan, then you don't feel our pain right now. But yeah, we're gonna go ahead and get right into it. I just kind of want to get Alex your thoughts, like just overall your takeaways from the game, immediate takeaways.
Why can't we tackle? Honestly, like AJ Brown, like I get he's a big dude, but 3 guys can't tackle him. That's comical. I mean,
Oh my gosh.
it was Chuck Clark, Marcus Peters, and Patrick Queen, and just stop ripping the ball. It's 3rd and 10 in the red zone where they're down by 5. Just tackle him, man.
Just
Like,
make the tackle.
it's that simple. Like, I just don't see what is so hard about tackling him, wrapping up. I mean, I learned about it when I played football. Wrap him up is not that hard.
Oh my gosh, man. Let's see. So Kenny Soberman says, "Why can't we tackle?" That's the question. That's the biggest question right now. I think we're just like Alex said, we're trying to force the turnovers a little bit too much, even when we don't necessarily need to force them. You know, when we need to like actually make the tackle, we're trying to like strip the ball away, which makes no sense, but it's cool. He says, "Good evening as well. Good evening, sir, to
Good
you."
evening.
Let's see. We've got our guy God Baby Productions in here. What's up, man? He's always coming through.
Yeah, we'll be talking about the Bucks-Rams game tonight, so stay tuned for that.
Yeah. If you're watching this live right now, go ahead and like this video. Also, make sure to subscribe to our channel. We are very close to 100. I think, yeah, we're 4
away.
off. Yeah, 4 away from 100. So if you haven't subscribed yet, I want you to, smash that like button. But I want you to like stick around and like, see if you actually enjoy the content. And if you do genuinely, go ahead and subscribe to us, Like, right, it's simple. But this is Simply in Sutton on the Purple Rain Podcast, episode 4. My immediate takeaways from this game, like you said, the tackling was ridiculous. And what did we say last week? I said literally on Thursday before, for the preview to this game, the Titans game, I said we cannot let them be more physical than us.
Exactly.
That's the last
You called
thing
it.
that we can allow.
And guess
And
what they
happened?
were? Guess what they were?
Oh my gosh, man. It's embarrassing.
It is.
Just the way that I think I give props to our defense because we kind of held up pretty strong in the first half. Early on in the game, we didn't look too bad. Other than that first drive, we didn't look all that bad, stopping Derrick Henry. But, the offense really couldn't get it together all that much. And I know we had that touchdown, that Lamar Jackson and Mark Andrews touchdown. That was probably the highlight of the day.
That was beautiful. That was beautiful.
That was
Like,
beautiful. That was beautiful.
Just thing of beauty. Just loved it. But yeah, you're 100% right.
Yeah.
But I'm going to rag on the defense today, but there's one person I will not rag on. That is the Joker, Deshaun Elliott. Because he went one-on-one, open field tackle, lowered the shoulder on Derrick Henry, knocked him out for a play or two. So props to Deshaun for that.
Deshaun Elliott, he is a hard hitter. He has that thump, like we were saying last week. Like he pulls up on dudes, man. Like he's not around here to try to wait for the gang tackle or anything like that. No, he is coming for your head, and he's trying to take you out on his own. I'm not literally coming for your head, because that's a penalty. But he is literally not to be trifled with. So
yeah, I don't know if you guys remember Ryan Clark, former Pittsburgh Steelers corner. He tweeted out last night that Deshaun Elliott is playing in the wrong era. He should have been standing across from him, Troy Polamalu, Ike Taylor, and then next to Ed Reed, Ray Lewis, and Terrell Suggs because he fits their style and their mindset. He brings it on every snap and never makes a business decision. Loves it.
Yeah, that's totally true. We've got Jordan the Tryhard in here. He says we need to beat Pittsburgh next week. We'll talk about the Pittsburgh matchup because this episode is actually the review for the Titans game, but also the preview for the Steelers game since we do play on Thanksgiving. Obviously, we won't be going live on Thanksgiving. But yeah, we'll get into the Steelers a little bit later. Let's see. Our guy KLA Sports, shout out to you, man. You were in here last week. Yeah. You actually hit me up on Twitter, so I appreciate you for reaching out. And we'll be in talks and stuff. But KLA Sports, he says, why did Dez Bryant and Luke Wilson get demoted back to the practice squad when Dez was our best wide receiver and we only have one tight end?
So I can answer that pretty easily. So we're going to use both their practice squad call-ups so they won't count against the active roster. It's just smart by the front office and the coaches. so we
Yeah.
won't have to cut somebody. So if we can use both their practice squad call-ups, I believe Dez's didn't count this week because that
Nope.
was taking place of Trace
Trace
McSorley's
McSorley, yep.
the COVID. So he'll have another one. So he has one more, and so does Luke Wilson. So we'll probably see them on Thursday, and then they'll probably get called up. I know Tyree Phillips is back, and I don't know who will be cut. Maybe some backups, but I definitely think after yesterday, Dez has a place in this offense. I was skeptical of him. I was really skeptical, but he has it. He has that dog in him, and he's just professional. He would make the catch, give the ball to the ref, and the Titans were trying to get into his head. He didn't bite.
But you know what I did love from Dez Bryant, and this is another silver lining. Like, I know he played well, considering the touches and snaps he got. But I liked his energy on the field more than anything. Like, he would catch the ball, he would get loose, like he had the wiggle. And this is, like, think about it. This is a guy who hasn't played football in 3 years now. He's getting loose on guys, getting down the field. You could tell that the defenders for the Tennessee Titans were not having, a good time trying to tackle that man. Like, he's still that dude. He's still that dude. He just looks built. Like, out of all of our receivers, like, he looks bigger than Miles Boykin. He looks bigger than, he looks about like Mark Andrews size, like low key. Yeah. He's just like a big guy, big body guy. And also, like I said, his energy though, he was like, talking trash to guys, pointing at him after the play. And I loved every minute of that. We need those, that type of energy on our offense to get other guys fired up. You saw it last year a lot with Mandrews. When he gets his catch for like 20, 25 yards as a first down. He's like, oh yeah, he's pointing across the field and doing the little, the Salt Bay thing.
Salt Bay.
Yeah. So it's like, we need somebody like that because obviously this year we do not have that player. So 100%. I definitely think that we should bring Dez back up from the practice squad for this week's game. We definitely need to activate him, get him the ball more because it's obvious that he's going to make an impact on this offense. You agree?
I agree. And to put in perspective, his last catch, December 31st, 2017. That same day was when Tyler Boyd caught that catch and knocked us out of playoff contention. Think about how much has changed, not in just the Ravens, but in the NFL since then. Mahomes wasn't even a quarterback playing in the NFL at that time. Lamar Jackson was still at Louisville. Like, he hasn't played in a while. And the fact that he came into this game and made a serious impact shows a lot about who he is as a player and as a person. And I respect that.
Absolutely. Big respect to Dez Bryant. He just literally, he's showing why, we picked him up. And Kenny Silverman says, Dez is a big dude. He is a big dude, man. I can't wait to see more of it. We got our guy Falou.
Appreciate that.
Appreciate that. He said this podcast is lit. I'm sorry if I mispronounced the name, but yeah, thank you, bro. We appreciate that. Let's see. So, our guy Zay King says props to Derek Wolfe and Yannick Ngakoue. Another silver lining.
I tell you what, Yannick yesterday, they couldn't contain him. They could not contain him whatsoever, and that is why we got him. And for Derek Wolfe, he blamed that last run on himself, the touchdown, but he has nothing to be ashamed of. He played his ass off.
You know who was really to blame for that last run, honestly?
Who was it?
Pernell McPhee.
Really? I haven't watched it over. I've kind of been sick about it. But once he scored, I turned it off. I haven't even watched it back.
Yeah, man. I was watching. It was so sad how, I realized we lost because I was watching it on a stream because for whatever reason it was not on live TV where I live, and I live probably about only an hour away from Baltimore. But anyway, I was watching it on a stream, so I'm a little bit delayed. So yeah, I just get a notification to my phone. I get a notification to my phone while they're driving down the field in overtime, and it just says Tennessee beats Baltimore 30-24. I'm like, they scored a touchdown,
man.
And then sure enough, the next play, Derrick Henry runs around our defense and scores a touchdown. So
I know that pain. It's terrible. Yeah. When I watch, because I can't watch soccer games in the U.S. because they're not on TV, so I have to turn off all the notifications. You can't go on Twitter. Because it's just gonna get spoiled. So watching it on the stream, that is a struggle. It's
definitely a struggle. Real quick, I got AJ Game says it is his birthday.
Happy birthday to you!
Happy birthday, man! Shout out to you. Let's see. Yeah, but going back to Yannick Ngakoue and Derek Wolfe, they both did play really well. When Derek Wolfe went down on that one play, I was like, oh no!
Right? Oh man! Oh man!
Please, because he's the only one we have left in that the Monstars right now. And we're not going to get Brandon Williams back because the latest news, and we'll talk about the COVID stuff, but Brandon Williams is on that COVID list.
Not only is he hurt, he might have COVID. That's double whammy right there.
Double whammy, man. It's like, can we even catch a break right now is my question.
I don't think we can, and we're talking about silver linings. One of them was J.K. Dobbins. I mean, he was balling out yesterday, and man, he was making those cuts, getting those yards. They couldn't stop him the way we couldn't stop Derrick Henry in that playoff game last year.
Yeah.
And he was running all down their throats.
Oh my gosh, those cuts were immaculate. You just see him like almost run into like a wall of defenders, and he makes like a jump cut, and he's getting like 3, 4, 5 more yards just off of that alone. It's like it's like how you do on Madden, right?
Yeah,
when, like you make a juke move and like you flick the stick, and it's just like, bro, it looks so easy for him out there. So I was just, I liked seeing him get more touches, but I like JK getting more touches, but we really did not see a whole lot of Gus Edwards this week, and I had a problem with that. I told you guys last week, if you were watching on last week's episode, we do not need to be giving the ball to Mark Ingram on first down. And what did we do? We did that on multiple occasions. And what did he do? Nothing.
1 to 2 yards. That's at most. And it's funny that you talked about there wasn't a lot of Gus Edwards, because with the news coming out today, we'll be seeing a whole lot of Gus Edwards on Thursday.
All of it.
So, do you want me to break the news, or do you want to break the news? For those who don't know.
You can go ahead and break the COVID news.
Okay. So, it came out this morning and this afternoon that there was 4 people in the Ravens facility that tested positive, coaches and players. And Harbaugh confirmed it, that it was one of them was Mark Ingram, and the other was J.K. Dobbins. So we will not have them for Thursday night's game. So we are stuck now with Gus Edwards and Justice Hill. 2 out of the 3 we had last year that they ran all over them in that Week 17 game.
Right.
I mean, I'm not mad about it. I'm mad about JK. Prayers up to him and Mark for getting healthy soon. But, man, we're definitely going to bring somebody up from the practice squad. I mean, since I'm wearing this Towson hoodie, you want to see what Terrence West is up to. I mean,
hey.
Nothing. But, yeah, so that's a big hit for us. I mean, I didn't have much confidence going in.
Let me ask you this. Do you think we'll see more of Justice Hill, maybe?
Yes. He'll take that J.K. Dobbins spot, the reset back, the juke back, the elusive back, while Gus is just maybe a second down, just bruiser, third down bruiser. But we'll see Justice Hill, I think, on first downs a lot more.
The thing is, I think that Justice Hill could actually have a pretty decent game. Just talking about like what he specializes in. He's like a speedy back. Agility is a big thing for him. We saw him, had a couple of flashing moments last season, when we actually used him a little bit more.
Yeah.
But we'll get to see what he does. I mean, he plays a tough Steelers defense, of course, but I think that when Justice Hill is in the game, when he's in the backfield for us, they're probably going to be expecting pass. So I think we could actually, get them pretty good with that. What were you about to say though?
Well, since we're on the topic of Justice Hill, can we talk about that tackle he made on the kickoff yesterday? Because he laid out somebody. He is proving his worth as a special teamer. That's how he's going to stay on this team. And I think he's doing a great job of it. He's getting down the field, getting contact, getting tackles. I mean, you really can't ask much more from him.
I know Harbaugh loves that too. Yeah,
the special teams. And I love that. And I know that's how Levine stayed on the team, just special teams. So.
Right.
Proving his worth.
KLA Sports says he wished Justice Hill moved to D tackle after those special teams hits. Honestly, though, he was really good. Yeah. What else were we have for that game? Oh, I meant to just like because you know how in Ravens games, of course, there's always just like a couple like crucial moments where you felt like if it would have bounced our way, we probably would have won that game. Yeah. One of those big moments for me in that game was, I believe it might have been like late third quarter, early fourth quarter, when we had that. It was like 4th and 1 or something like that, or 3rd and 1, and we had 1 yard, and Mark Andrews, he jumped off sides or something. Yeah,
I know what you're talking. That was 3rd and 6.
And then like the very next play, he dropped the ball. Do you think that play where Lamar threw him that ball? Do you think that it was on Lamar or was that on Mark Andrews?
I was talking about this earlier. I would go 80% on Lamar, 20 on Mark Andrews. I just feel it wasn't that good of a pass. But if we're gonna be honest, that was the first down run by Lamar on 2nd down. I thought he got. Remember we challenged it and we lost the timeout. I thought that was a first down. But
I thought it was a first down too.
I mean, of course it wasn't. And then since we're going to talk about calls, that roughing the passer on Tannehill was nowhere near roughing the passer. I don't know what you expect per no
totally
McPhee.
bogus.
And as a fan of the NFL, the officiating is absolutely terrible. I was watching the Chiefs Raiders game last night. It's not just
Yeah.
Ravens games; it's just all around. Like the officiating is terrible, and
Yeah.
I just don't know how they can fix it because they consistently let these refs make terrible calls and nothing happens. So
Yeah,
that needs to get fixed. But yeah, back to I think it was more on Lamar, but if it touches your hand, you should catch it. That's what I always learn. But what do you think about that?
I saw that play. I have to watch it back. But in real time watching it, like my first impression was, okay, Mandrew should have caught that. He definitely should have caught that ball. He had a hand on it, like you said. And Lamar really, there were like 3 defenders around him. I think there was a guy underneath, there was a guy over the top of him, and there was a guy like beside him. I'd have to go back and watch the play again, but he kind of put the ball only where Mark could get it, you know? And when your quarterback does that, you kind of have to go get that football, you know? Like, and you're a top 5 tight end in the league. George Kittle and Travis Kelce are making that, they're making that catch. You know, maybe even like a Darren Waller, they're making that catch.
Man, I miss him. Man, honestly, I'm happy that Darren Waller is succeeding. And for the Ravens fans saying, "Oh, we should be here," no, I don't know if you watched the documentary on him. I know it was on YouTube. If he stayed in Baltimore, he wouldn't have lived. That's why we shipped him out, is because there's drugs around here. So I'm really happy for him. I love seeing him ball out. That's a great story. I definitely recommend going on YouTube and look it up. Yeah, it's a great little documentary with like him and his parents. It's really, really good.
Wow, that's crazy. But shout out to Darren Waller. He is doing well. He's balling out. Darren the Baller Waller. He is definitely balling out. Let's see. Oh, while we're talking about receivers, Hollywood, Marquise. Our guy Marquise.
What is the point of having soldiers if they're not going to catch the ball when it's in their hands? What is the point of it?
Oh, man, we're hearing this again, man. He had a terrible drop yesterday, man. It was just
right the numbers.
Like he had his hands on it too. He almost like high pointed it. He had it and then just lost it. And like I don't know what it is. I don't know if he's just I get he's playing with no confidence. He's not playing with any confidence right now at all. You know, and I don't know what's going to fix that, honestly. I just don't see any sort of like burst from him. I don't see any physicality. I don't see anything like that. So, yeah, Marquise Brown, I don't know how long we're going to hold on to this, you know, keep doing this before adjustments have to be made. Because, look, if we bring Dez Bryant in, you know, we're going to be feeding him the ball a lot more. And that's going to, you know, hopefully.
And he deserves it. He deserves it.
He deserves it. He deserves it. And my hope as a Ravens fan is that if we bring Dez in and give him a more prominent role, say we give him like the Anquan Bolden role where like, you know, he's the 50-50 guy, you know, he may get double covered on some plays. Can you imagine the opportunities that's going to open up for guys like Hollywood, guys like Mandrews, guys like Boykin, Duvernay, you know? So I think that like it's a double-edged sword, you know, but I hope that Dez Bryant can actually bring out the best in Marquise Hollywood Brown and our other receivers. But what do you think? What are your thoughts on Hollywood right now?
So I'll be honest. I feel like the only way Hollywood gets his confidence back, a big deep ball catch. That's all he needs. Because that's what he's a deep threat. But I saw this on Twitter yesterday. Since his Solskjaer tweet, 15 targets, 5 catches, 52 yards, and 4 drops.
Wow.
That was after the Steelers game. So it's been the Colts game, the Patriots game, and now the Titans game. In 3 games, only 5 catches. That's underwhelming. Very, very underwhelming. I definitely think he's lacking confidence. He just needs to have that big play. And I would like to see us maybe just use them more like we use Duvernay. I mean, short plays, let him just go off the field. But speaking of Duvernay, was that interception on him or Lamar?
I think that was on Duvernay, man.
Okay,
like if you're one-on-one with a guy, you know, and it's a deep ball, you have to locate that ball and you have to be there regardless of whether or not you plan on catching that ball or not. You know what I mean? Like, you cannot let the DB just get back there and just go make a play on the ball. You can't do that. I don't know if he
turn into a defender, swat it, do something.
Exactly. Like, do something. Like, fight back. Like, Jesus, man. Like, it's terrible. It's like, I don't know.
It's 50-50. I'll get an offensive pass interference. I'll be happy with that.
Something, man. But just don't let him go and get the ball. You know, it was the same thing last week with Hollywood and
J.C. Jackson.
Or J.C. Jackson, right. And we were talking about that. So, yeah, and like Falou said, he stopped running. Why?
Yeah. But my other issue with that, too, is that play call. It's 1st and 10, and it was only Marquise Brown, because I'm like, he needs to earn the Hollywood nickname back. He's Marquise now. One.
He's definitely Marquise right now.
It was Marquise Brown and Devin Duvernay. I think those are the only two going out for a pass, or maybe Mark Andrews too. But I'm like, that's only 3 people going out for a pass on 1st and down. Like, let's run it with JK, because they couldn't stop him. It's just play calls like that. Like, I'm not gonna blame Greg Roman, but just stick to what works. We haven't had a big deep pass. We took our shots. It didn't work. Don't force anything. Like, what was working was the 5-yard plays, and they would just get the yak. Or it was the runs with JK. I just don't know. Like, this offense has no identity. And, I mean, did it forge a new identity yesterday? I mean, we put up points, but it didn't really forge a new identity.
Whoa, you know what? This is my first time realizing, like, after the fact that he did say that, Greg Roman did say that this past week before the game, that we were forging a new identity. And, I mean, I guess we had Dobbins, like, play well. But
I see a comment. I'm sorry. Proche. He had a clutch third down. He had that clutch third down play. I think he earned himself some more play time, too. Sorry to cut you off, but I just didn't want to lose that thought.
Oh, no, it's cool. It's cool. I mean, like, I saw Proche. He definitely did. He had that really nice catch. He's got good hands. Nobody, we're not questioning that at all. I definitely do think, I agree with you. I think he deserves more opportunities, along with, of course, Des Bryant. But before we get off, like, the whole receivers topic and move on to other parts of the offense, I wanted to bring up a video that you made, actually, about Des Bryant today. And
just released like less than an hour ago. I was, like I said, I was really surprised with how Des played. And if I can point out just any play, it was when we were driving in the fourth quarter to tie it up. That play he made, he turned something into nothing. And that is what we've been lacking from receivers the whole year. Just them getting the ball and just making a play. Because usually we'll see Lamar throw it and they don't get much yak, or if they do, they were wide open. But this, he was covered. J.K. Dobbins was a great block. You'll see it, but I'm happy we got him, and I really wouldn't mind re-signing him after this year.
Oh, not at all. Like, we'll go ahead and take a look at this video.
So on 3rd down, they blitz a corner. He's picked up. Jackson rolls out. Nice catch.
I thought he caught that at first glance.
I thought he caught it too, yeah.
Now they say incomplete, but a flag on the field as well.
But he will catch those, you know what I mean? Like
100%.
Yeah, going forward.
And hearing Tony Romo speak so highly of him, like, that was nice. Sounded really good.
He could be 50, but if you're going to throw him a ball and he can go up and get it within a 10-foot radius, he's got as good a hands as I've ever been around.
Yep, that's so true.
Now I get sweep the leg. Gotcha. Here's
Look at this.
Bryant.
Even plays like that, you just see just energy, just effort, physicality.
Bring it to the games on Sunday.
Well, this is exactly.
He's pointing at guys. He's fired up.
Even runs into big guys like
we've been missing that. Just dog.
But I'll tell you,
right.
You can get him the ball. If they want to stay off him 10 yards, throw him a smoke, we call it. Just stand there, catch it, get 5. It's the same as a run.
Tony Romo for offensive coordinator, honestly, because he knows what he's doing.
Last year, another smoke to Dez.
Like, look at that. Just wiggle. He's physical. He's got wiggle. And this is right. This is after 3 years, a 3-year layoff.
Games, living in the Nashville area, even attended a game.
It's crazy.
Coach Pete does such a great job. They're starting to figure out. Just get it to him.
Like that, they had to go around like the neck area to take him down. Because they know if they wrap him up, it's not going to work.
Right.
In the past.
You're exactly right. Just stand there. It's a running play. You like it out there. And this was a great tackle by Butler. But
hey, can this 3rd down
and right
defense
there, Simmons
make a play? That was a little playful. Baltimore's advanced to the 30.
Love to see it.
Here's the play I'm talking about.
No pressure at all. No pressure at all on him. As he sidearms it.
He starts 3-4 yards behind line of scrimmage.
Yeah.
And just makes a play.
And another cool thing about that play is he came back to the ball. He came back to Lamar.
Yeah.
He's had the ability.
Like, that's that background, the street yard play we're talking about. Like, get open for Lamar. Like, make these things happen yourself.
Exactly. So, I thought that was actually really cool. Shout out to you, bro, for, putting that video together. Definitely, man. Because people need to see it. Like, people need to see actually how well he performed. Because because he was a beast. Yeah, this YouTube stream just brought up our podcast, so I was like listening to myself like live.
Yeah, you're
like,
good. I get
so
that.
I had to pause it, but yeah. Anyway, now I wanted to ask you about another thing with the offense, the offensive line play yesterday. What did you think about that overall?
Better than we've seen in previous weeks, definitely. Makari, the one snap where it was the false start where we could have scored. I mean, that really hurt us. But I'll tell you what, Ben Powers looked good for. I think his name was Holder coming in the right tackle. For him being a practice squad guy, he didn't play bad. Like I know he had his
one penalty.
But I mean he's off the practice squad. I'm really not going to expect him to play like Orlando Brown. But Bozeman, I think he played fine. Zeus, I think he played fine as well. Fluker, I think, got benched.
He did. And then
what I did like was bringing in Matt Skura as the tight end and having him block. I did like that play. Or just
I didn't see that. I didn't notice that.
Or formation. Yeah, so he would be in and he would report as eligible because he's a tight end. So he'd be an extra blocker. But it's still not what we had last year or the first week with Stanley. And I saw Tyree Phillips is back. I've never really been the biggest fan of Tyree Phillips. I didn't think he was all that. But what did you think? I mean, Lamar was scrambling per usual, but it's going to be like that the rest of the year. He's not going to have a clean pocket.
It's gonna be a lot of depending on Lamar Jackson, that's for sure. But what did you think overall of the play calling from Greg Roman?
Ooh. Love the run plays. Love them. Passing play suspect per usual. I mean, if I can give him out of a 10, I give maybe a 6.5, 7. Right. I mean, it wasn't perfect. It wasn't bad. They were his play called the Greg Roman that we know and love. I mean, I don't know what you would think about it. I mean, it's kind of hard for me to really still process that loss because I really thought we had it.
Yeah, man, I thought we had that one too. Like, I think it was by like third quarter, we had a 2-possession lead as we have had before this season up against a team, like the Steelers last time we played them. And I'm like, okay, yeah, we got this, like we're gonna ride this out. We're gonna run the football, and next thing you know, we lose. So the play calling, I think down the stretch, in overtime, it kind of frustrated me the most.
Oh yeah,
like when it was like
terrible.
3rd and long, and we just like check it down to J.K. Dobbins. Like that's the best play call to go with. Like no, we need to actually be aggressive and like take this win. Like your J.K. Dobbins is not going to convert a 3rd and what was it like 17 or something like that.
Yep.
Yeah, like a 3rd and 17. He's not going to convert that. Like just take a shot down the field. Like because you're going to punt the ball back to them, and then your defense has next to nothing left to be able to stop Derrick Henry. And that's exactly what happened, man. So it kind of frustrated me, and I don't know what we're going to do, going forward with this offense. Just the play calling just has not been on point this year, and I don't know if we're going to just ride it out with Greg Roman until the end of the year. I can see us, if we miss the playoffs, Greg Roman's gone.
100% agree, and I mean, he just should have gotten his head coaching job in the offseason last year. I mean, that would have been best for all parties. But we're talking about the offense. If you would have asked me last week and we were to lose, what would be the worst part of the defense? I would have said the front 7. But in all honesty, the secondary played absolutely terrible yesterday. Corey Davis and A.J. Brown had their way with them. Their tight end, he was just getting separation. And Marcus Peters was a burnt piece of toast yesterday. Corey Davis had his way. So with that being said, we have that signing of Pierre Desir. I mean, he'll be depth. I think he's going to be a good pickup. He might make his plays. Humphrey didn't look like the Humphrey we know. I mean,
Humphrey, he definitely didn't. But I don't think you can really put too much blame on him. I mean, other than that last play. On that last play where A.J. Brown scored, like that was just pathetic. But I think that I didn't really like how Chuck Clark played yesterday. He
had tight coverage, but he needed to put his hand in there.
Yeah, like he was off. Like he had the tight end converted a couple clutch first downs for the Titans. By way of Chuck Clark being defended by Chuck Clark defending Ferkser, their tight end, and he just didn't look all that great to me. And Patrick Queen is another one. He looked very much so like a rookie yesterday. He was making a lot of the wrong decisions in certain situations, but I definitely feel like he will bounce back. He'll learn from this. He's a rookie, so at the end of the day.
He's good in the run game. I mean, he missed some of his holes yesterday, but when he hit Tannehill for that Bowser interception, that was big. Like, that's why I know we'll get out of Patrick Queen. But since we're talking about linebackers, I'm just going to run right through. It's probably the frustration speaking. Malik Harrison played really well. I mean, he took Derrick Henry down in a one-on-one. LJ Fort played solid. Chris Board should not be on the field for the defense. Please. Please. Okay? Happened against the Browns, not happened against the Titans. Please. He's a special teamer. Keep it that way. Because Jonnu Smith just absolutely just faked him out wide open in the end zone.
Yeah, that was way too easy. I think that with a lot of our like younger players, we definitely need stuff like this to happen, because these are like wake up calls. Because you got to think like a lot of these guys are, they're coming out of college from like, and somebody else made this point yesterday. I was looking on a video, Ravens video, but these guys are coming out of college, coming from like great programs who are like always dominating. You know what I mean? So they really don't sense that urgency the same way, like when they get to the NFL. Like, because in the NFL, everybody's like, on the same level. It's not like college where like you're blowing out the majority of teams you face just because you're on a totally different level than them. So
like the LSU team last year, they had 20 some people get drafted. I mean, that's unheard of. That's like a full NFL team going against these college teams. I mean, they're blowing them out, but it's some of their games just aren't even fair. So I definitely get what you're saying there.
Yeah, man, it's kind of it's a wake up call for them, to say the least. They need to bounce back from this. Our guys need to come back hungrier. This needs to actually make them. That's like a welcome to the NFL moment. A loss like that one really stung, because like it was an all around team loss. You can't really point the blame at one single entity. So I think going forward, this week is not gonna. I don't think this week is gonna be the week, and we'll get into the previewing of the Steelers game now, but I don't think that this is going to be the week where we bounce back really. And it's unfortunate to say, but at the same time, it's like, it's kind of the truth right now. Like, our team we're reeling from injuries, like us not having Calais Campbell, because I don't think he's going to play this week.
Neither do I.
And Brandon Williams is definitely not playing this week. So our run defense is going to be, compromised from that. And then also just like, if this offense can't get it together, then we're gonna need to make a lot more adjustments. But before we get into all of the Steelers talk, let's see.
I want to give a shout out to my guy Zay King. We were thinking the same thing. I really wanted us to re-sign Zamata Peko, but he did go to the Cardinals, which I'm really upset about, because I'm like, okay, wait, we have Brandon Williams out and Calais Campbell. We need a defensive tackle. Oh wow, somebody who was in our defense last year, knows our defense. Why not bring him back? I don't get why we didn't bring him back. That didn't make sense. And then also some news came out. We tried to sign Snacks Harrison off Seattle's practice squad, but he got elevated to the active roster, so that didn't happen.
All right, let's see.
And before we go to the Steelers, I just want to ask the chat's opinion and your opinion. That whole Titans players Harbaugh thing before the game, what did you think of that?
I thought that is very uncharacteristic of Harbaugh. I would have liked to know what was said between Malcolm Butler and John Harbaugh, but I do think that the team we should have fought harder, for John Harbaugh for that. Like that's your coach,
That's just,
and they stood on our shield and did that thing. He did, did all that stuff in the beginning of the game. Like, you got to stand up. You know what I mean?
It's just flat out disrespectful from them. Like, I just don't get that. I mean, I get doing it to the Cowboys, like the whole like star thing, because that's happened before, but like, I just didn't really get what's the point of it is. And I believe somebody actually made a comment on what they actually, like, why they did it. I don't want to, I believe they went on there to like our 7 Nation Army on the shield. So like props to John Harbaugh for like respecting the city and the team. But like you said, the players just should have fought for him. Like, if that's the coach. And I just don't know. Like, if you see something like that happen, just give 110%. And some of them players yesterday, they don't know what playing like a Raven means. They need to watch some of the old games and see what it's like, because some of them couldn't even handle it.
Yeah, man, that was definitely sad, atrocious, and just embarrassing, like, for us on our part. We definitely should have stood up for them. Let's see. We've got a couple new people here in the chat. Our guy Tim Honeycutt says, Dallas fan here. Y'all did your thing. What's up?
You know what? Shout out to the Cowboys for beating the Vikings and Andy Dalton. I mean, I'm glad he's out of the AFC North, because whenever Andy Dalton plays, like, he's going to give you a solid chance to win. So shout out to Andy Dalton and the Cowboys.
Yeah. But, just going back to the whole, like, Harbaugh thing and, like, him getting disrespected by one of the Titans players and, yada, yada, yada. I think that, especially towards the end of the game, that fire should have just been there for us. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know what it was, but it just wasn't. The only person that really, like, kind of hit back, Des Bryant, because he brought that energy, and Lamar Jackson. Like after that touchdown was scored and he like bumped Malcolm Butler. I don't know if you saw that.
I love that. I love that.
You know
like,
what I mean?
That's what it's about. Like if you want to make this a rivalry, let's go. Let's do it.
Yeah. No, like those guys did not back down, and in large part it was our defense who really folded for us on yesterday.
100%.
So. And let's see, our guy Ezaf_Pulse, he says we need to stop being soft, man. And like I said it last week, guys. I said it last week. We need to be physical, bro. We cannot let these teams come in and push us around. And that's exactly what happened. They pushed us around. A.J. Brown pushed us around. Derrick Henry, same thing. Yeah. It's like, oh my gosh, man. That A.J. Brown highlight is probably the most frustrating play of the year. Now,
it's going to have to be up there. I mean, we've had some pretty bad ones, like any of the Chiefs touchdowns they scored, but definitely yesterday, the fact we were still in the game is that.
So let me ask you this: which moment was worse? That moment, the AJ Brown touchdown, or the Jacoby Myers touchdown pass?
Oh,
the Patriots game, yeah. And you guys in the chat answer this too.
I'm gonna go with probably Jacoby Myers because Rex Burkhead lost our first round pick. I'll go with Jacoby Myers. And because it's Belichick and he does it time in and time out. And then, like I said it last week. Vrabel is a seed from the Belichick coaching tree. He's going to have stuff up his sleeve.
Yeah.
And they got us again.
Yeah. So. They got us again, man. That, like, oh my gosh, man. Just seeing that, I think I have to disagree with you there, bro. I think the A.J. Brown touchdown is way worse just because that was such a crucial moment in the game. Like Jacoby Myers, I think he threw that touchdown in the first or second quarter of that game.
I think that was to give them. I don't know if it tied. I think it gave them the lead. I'm pretty sure. I'm not like that Sunday night game is kind of like washed from my memory now, and just all like yesterday. But I think it definitely gave them the lead.
Yeah, man, and that AJ Brown touchdown though was just like pure lack of effort. You know what I mean? I can understand us getting fooled. It was raining. Patrick Queen probably couldn't even see the ball. He didn't really have his footing. So he got mossed by, Rex Burkhead, which is still embarrassing to say the least. But at the end of the day, that A.J. Brown touchdown, you had Marlon Humphrey, you had Marcus Peters, and you had Patrick Queen there again. And Patrick Queen just gets driven backwards into the end zone.
Like he's going for the ball. Like, I just don't get stopped. Like I said, it's third down. Just tackle him, man.
Just tackle him. I understand we're really good at forcing turnovers and things like that, but these just it's an unforced error to try to strip the ball away from a guy when he's 5 yards from the end zone. So, okay, if you do strip it, you know what I mean? You're probably going to get tackled in about 10, 15 yards or so, probably. And, we're set up to go score, right? To go be on offense. But if you don't tackle him, which they didn't, they score a touchdown and they take the lead. And that's exactly what happened. And it's just unacceptable, It was the same thing on that in the overtime drive. Derrick Henry, right? Derrick Henry, when he ran the ball and he ran around our whole defense. Yeah. That was something that we had the opportunity to drop him, in the backfield. And I think that was two plays on two different plays, right?
If you stop in the backfield, not only is it a loss of down, but a loss of yards. But instead, he actually was able to get some yards. So it's now it just kind of gives them some more confidence. It was just confident going back and forth yesterday.
It was 1st and 10, right?
Yeah, and also since we're speaking about just the defense and all that, a really good point was brought up. That fake punt. We got beat at our own game yesterday. The special teams. I'm just how we're our punters 7 for 7 fake punts. I'm really? And we get beat on that. It's like you said, you've mentioned it. There's times in Ravens games where it's just not going to go our way. That's one of them.
Yeah, that was definitely one of those moments. I think for me yesterday, that was the moment where I think AJ Brown scored the touchdown. When he scored that touchdown, I was like, yeah, we have a chance to come back, but I don't see it happening. And sure enough, our offense just couldn't do anything. But let's see.
Shout out to that offense. Like the way they drove down, we should. Yeah. I definitely think we just should have just went for the touchdown. But we drove down their defense. We made it look good. We had time. I mean, it goes to show that if we really want to, we can drive on teams. We can.
Yeah, but we got to finish. That's the thing.
Exactly. And we just did. We got to the red zone, I think, 4 times, and we kicked a field goal 3 of those times.
Are so good. We were so good in the red zone last year, but this year that's made all the difference. When we do get to the red zone, it's very seldom that we do nowadays, and when we do, we're kicking field goals, and we don't need to like Lamar always says, like we don't need to be bringing Tuck on the field. We just don't. Like we need to score touchdowns. Let's see. So our guy Gavin Berger says, do you feel the Ravens need to draft a receiver with next year's selection, or do you think a trade could be seen in the near future? Oh man,
I never want us to draft a receiver in the first round again because we can't.
Yeah, I'm thinking more of trade. We'll probably trade for somebody in the offseason.
And I know we both agreed that we would think the safe bet is drafting a lineman in the first round next year. I think that's definitely the safe bet.
Yeah, I think that's definitely what we need to do as well. So to answer your question, Gavin, no, we do not need to draft a receiver. I think
it's not that we don't need one. It's that we don't trust the team to select the right one and develop him and get the most we can out of him. Now, if we're Steeler fans, I know we're both wearing yellow, but if you're a Steeler fan asking me that, I'm going to say, yeah, why not draft a receiver? He's going to turn into a star. But as a Ravens fan, no.
Yeah, man. Definitely as a Ravens fan, we should not. After we passed up on DK Metcalf and, all those other guys, AJ Brown, all those other guys, man, we've clearly showed that we're not good at drafting wide receivers. So stick with Dez, see what he does for us. Hopefully Mandrews and somebody else has got to step up. Duvernay had a good play yesterday.
The kickoff, he did good. For the opening kickoff, he had a nice little return.
Again, he just needs more opportunities, and maybe that's something else that we'll try to, get going later on. Let's see. Our guy Falou says, how did y'all feel about Lamar's pregame speech in the huddle? Do you think he should do that more? I like this pregame speech. He didn't really seem all that fired up to me. I thought he could have been more but I get it was his first time doing it. He's probably not used to it. Again, they don't post the audio with those, so I don't really know what he was saying. Yeah, I don't know why they don't. But because you used to be able to hear the audio, right? Even if you were watching the live game.
I think so.
Yeah, so I don't know what's up with that, but at the end of the day, I did like that the pregame speech. What did you think about it, though, bro?
I liked it. I mean, it kind of pumped up me, actually, because I'm like, oh, wow, I've never seen him do this. Okay, maybe we're starting to turn the tides now. Maybe we're going to win a big game this year, that is. A big game this year, not last year, because we won big games last year, but this year. But hopefully we'll see it on Thursday again.
Yeah.
But I think I've said all I had to about the Titans game. I'm kind of still frustrated about it. You want to move on to Thursday's little review?
Yeah, so we'll move on to the preview of Thursday night, which is Thanksgiving, against the Pittsburgh Steelers in Pittsburgh. Wow. This is going to be a rough game. We went into this game against the Titans, this week against the Titans, knowing that it would be rough. Both of us, me and Alex, predicted us to lose that game. We ended up being right about that. Unfortunately. But for this game going into the Steelers in the Heinz Field, I don't see us winning this game, man. I just don't. Honestly, our defense is not where it needs to be right now. We have so many injuries, and just the Steelers are playing really, really well, man. They're 10-0. They're on their high horse. So at this point in the season, the Steelers are playing for that number 1 seed. They've got everything that we had last season right now. They have that juice. They have that fire, you know what I mean? So they're not going to be trying to lose, especially not at home. So
and especially to us, they're rivals.
Yeah, especially to the Ravens. They're definitely going to want to sweep us. And if that does happen, that would make me very, very sad as a Ravens fan. Let's see. What do you think, though, are some of our keys to victory? If we were to win, how do we get it done?
I'm probably going to get a lot of hate for this. but the Steelers are playing like the Patriots did in 2018 when they won their Super Bowl. When they beat the Rams, they played short little 5-yard passes, a deep ball every now and then. I don't know if I'm seeing it that way or like maybe they're not doing this. They have that run game going. Like I don't see why we just can't press them, have the safeties helping them. I don't really know. Their defense obviously is really good. TJ Watt's gonna have a feast on Thanksgiving. Yeah. If our rookie right tackle is playing Holden, he is gonna feast on him. Yeah, I didn't want to think about that. Bud Dupree's going to have a good game. If we can limit our mistakes, I know we keep saying that, just don't turn the ball over. Because our one turnover yesterday was crucial because he went down the field and scored on that. Don't turn it over. I mean, we can take a shot, but that's only if it's overthrow him, I would say. Don't give the defense a chance. With no Calais, no Brandon Williams, oh, man, I can't see us winning either. But the only way we do is if Gus and Justice Hill just run all over him. That's the only way I see it.
Yeah, I mean, 100% agree. Like Gus Edwards, we have to run early and we have to run often. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I think that's going to be probably our key to victory if we are going to win. We have to minimize the turnovers, like you said. Last time we played the Steelers, Lamar turned the ball over 4 times. We cannot have that. If he did not turn the ball over 4 times, we probably would have went on to win that game. So as long as we can minimize the turnovers, and we have to stop the bleeding wherever it starts quickly, like very, very fast. We've been doing a pretty decent job at like making adjustments. I think last week we just kind of ran out of gas on defense, especially. But as long as we have like a good game plan set in place to actually slow these guys down on offense, I think we should be okay. It's just again like losing a Brandon Williams and losing a Calais Campbell really hurts us. And it's funny because I was talking to one of my coworkers today. He was like telling me like how he's a Cowboys fan, just for context, but he was telling me like, oh yeah, like the Ravens aren't good, and Lamar's not good. They figured him out, and that's the reason why y'all are losing. Like that's like the main reason or whatever. And I'm like trying to explain to him as like, a knowledgeable Ravens fan. I'm like, well, there's a lot of things going on with the Ravens right now, a lot of moving pieces. So like our defensive line, he's like, oh no, that doesn't matter. You're talking about unnecessary stuff. Like if you don't have Calais Campbell and one other guy, he didn't even know Brandon Williams' name. He's like, if you don't have them and you can't stop Derrick Henry, then like you guys just aren't good. And I get a lot of people have the whole next man up mentality, which is, that's the mentality that, most teams should have. But at the end of the day, if we're talking about like, we're just being black and white with it, the next man up is not always better than the last guy who was starting. You know what I mean? And that's just, there's differences in the play. And we've seen that. So,
I know we have a Cowboy fan in the chat. And I remember watching the Steelers Cowboys game. The Cowboys did a damn good job at holding the Steelers. So I feel like we got to look at them and be like, what did they do that we can replicate? Because if it's not for a rookie quarterback throwing a pick, the Cowboys are winning that game. I don't care what anybody tells you. They're going to kick a field goal and they're going to win that game because there wasn't that much time left. So I think coaching has let us down a lot this year. A lot. And I know I haven't been the biggest Harbaugh fan, but I just like, what adjustments are we making, if any? And how are we going to stop this team, not just on defense, but also offense? I just don't think we can pull that out. And the whole next man up mentality, well, let's see. Ronnie Stanley, all-pro left tackle. Nick Boyle, like the heart around our run game. Brandon Williams, Calais Campbell, 2 of the best run stuffers in the league. Depth on corner we've lost. Tavon Young, Amon Marshall, Terrell Bonds, Anthony Averett.
Yep.
Am I forgetting anybody? Please, Tyree Phillips was hurt, even though I don't classify that as a big loss. COVID this year. Marlon Humphrey got COVID. Now Mark Ingram and J.K. Dobbins. I get 2 to 3 injuries, but when it's just so much of your team, it's just really hard to get these people to put them in and just have that chemistry again. Because the chemistry is the one thing I feel in sports you can't put together like that is gelled with just time and just like a brotherhood. I just don't see that in this team this year.
Yeah, I mean, I agree with that. Like it's really a chemistry thing. It's also a synergy thing, and we're missing that part. That aspect from last year as well, where we just all And, you know, you watch like the Ravens Wired videos and you can see how much this team loved each other. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And how well they work together. And now it's just kind of like, all right, they go out there and they kind of play. And after that, it's just over. There's no like excitement. There's no, you know, big trust. There's none of that anymore. So we're losing, you know, we've lost a lot of that this year.
It's like they are having fun, you know? Like last year, they were just having fun.
Right.
This year, it's just like they're just going to play. But if I'm looking, if there is anybody, if you say who is the one player that can flip this game and help the Ravens win, I'm going to go Yannick Ngakoue. If he can get to Big Ben, if he can force a fumble or two, just bring the pressure, he can make a big statement here.
Interesting you say that. Our guy Tim Honeycutt says, don't blitz Big Ben. So that does mean that guys like Yannick Ngakoue are going to have a really, really good game. And I agree. I don't think we should blitz, you know, too heavy because people are starting to use, you know, Wink Martindale's aggressiveness and his tendencies to blitz a lot. They're using that against us now. Yeah. You know, they're getting the ball out quick. You know, the play action is actually even working as well. Because we're not honest, you know, and I think we need to actually do a little bit more of relying on our secondary because we do have a really good secondary right now. We just have to actually give them time to actually make plays and shine. So I agree with that, Tim. I don't think we should do as much blitzing as we normally would against Ben Roethlisberger because if we do, I feel like we will get picked apart.
Yeah, it's always nice having a fan here of a team that's already played them. I mean, I know we played them, but the Ravens and Steelers, when we don't play like how they would play another team. You know, they play physical. So hearing how, you know, what they think works, I'm all for it because, you know, we were blitzing them and he was just picking us apart, 5-yard plays, whether it was Deontay Johnson, Chase Claypool, or Juju, or even their tight ends. I don't think Vance McDonald played that game, but somebody else did. I know they were just picking us apart. So they just have too many guys I feel that we just can't cover. But we can cover them if we only rush 4, drop 7 back. Now let's see what happens.
Yeah, I think definitely rushing 4 is something that we should try to do more of this week. On Thanksgiving, we have a couple of interesting points made in the chat.
Let's hear them.
Keep them coming. Yeah, like
I'm all for it. Like, I love this.
You guys are going crazy right now.
I'll be honest. So this is our 5th episode, but I think episode, like. The points being made this episode, man, I love it. It's just bringing different insight. So just keep them coming.
Absolutely. Make sure you like and subscribe too. We're almost at 100. We
did hit 100. I just checked.
We did hit 100.
We hit it.
Awesome. Nice.
Thank you, everybody.
Thank you guys so much. If you're already subscribed, thank you guys so much. Like the video. If you haven't subscribed yet and you're enjoying the content, go ahead and hit the subscribe button. We'd appreciate that so much. We're coming out with more Ravens content. You know what I mean? We're probably going to start doing like podcast clips and other things like that. So, you know, just be on the lookout for more stuff coming from PRP. But getting into you guys' comments here, our guy Evan Dixon, shout out to you. He says, Miles Boykin has been one-on-one or open on the sideline, but Lamar can't look past the middle of the field. Man. Yeah.
I don't think he trusts Boykin. Simple as that.
He doesn't trust him. Yeah. No. I think that's the biggest thing as well. He doesn't trust him. Evan also says, Lamar missed Andrews to win the game last week. He's struggling going through his progressions and he's staring down his hot routes. What do you think about that?
I think that's a really good point you bring up. And I got to agree with you there. I mean, I was watching the Chiefs game last night and I actually tweeted this out. I'm like, whenever the Chiefs get the ball, I think they're going to score 7 here. I mean, I don't know if I'm the only one because they're just their offense. Like Tyreek, if it's a curl route, he'll come back, catch the ball, spin you around, go up the field for 5 more yards. If it's Hardman or if it's even Demarcus Robinson, who was like their 5th string receiver a few years back, now is their number 3. So their guys are stepping up. Mahomes, he'll call audibles or calls hot routes up the play. Why can't we do that? You know, I feel like we'll call the play and that's the play. And if Lamar sees something, he'll try to flip it around. But I don't think we make too many of those adjustments at the line of scrimmage. I mean, correct me if I'm wrong. That's just how I feel.
Now, do you think that that's a coaching thing? Do you think the coaches are like in his ear and they want him to like run the plays that they call and they don't really want him to change it up at the line of scrimmage? Or like, what do you think? They have him on a leash or like what?
I think they have him on a leash. I really do. I really do.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. It's just hard to kind of pinpoint what's wrong with this offense.
Yeah, man. It's really hard to pinpoint it. I mean, of course, teams are like keeping up or catching up to what we did last year, and They are, and I think Tony Romo, he made the point in the beginning of the game yesterday how teams are putting a lot more DBs on the field, guys with speed who can run around and like actually catch Lamar. And we're not doing things that we need to do to be able to combat that.
Mm-hmm.
To combat that, we need to run the ball. You know, get a guy like Gus Edwards in the game when he gets to the second level, and he's gonna be running through these DBs on the second level, bro. Like, and J.K. Dobbins has shown the same thing. He has wiggle to get around guys. Just when you think you tackle J.K. Dobbins, he's up and getting 5-10 more yards. So, you know, I think we need to run the ball more. But what do you think about that?
Yeah, I mean, we've been saying it, ground and pound. That's what won us games last year. But it could win us games this year. So go all for it. And shout out to the chat. It was Eric Ebron. He did have that touchdown. So that's who I was thinking of. So, yeah. I mean, I remember I had him out of North Carolina. I actually wanted him. But that's how the NFL goes.
Our guy, KLA Sports, he said, we got to force Ben to throw deep. Don't give him time to throw dink and dunks or let routes develop.
Yes. Yeah. Simple as that.
But see, here's the thing, though. Here's the catch. We can make Ben throw deep, but our cornerbacks have to be disciplined. Marlon Humphrey getting that PI on the first, play of the game, we cannot have that. Because teams will do that to us. They'll throw Marcus Peters' way. They'll throw Marlon Humphrey's way. And both of those guys are kind of grabby guys. You know, they're really good corners. They're really good at what they do, but they will grab sometimes, and sometimes they get away with it. Sometimes they don't. But teams are going to start using that against us. And Ben, he will throw deep. He won't hesitate to throw deep. So, if he sees one-on-one coverage with a guy that he likes. So, I think that's a good point, KLA Sports.
Very good point.
Yeah, we definitely need to have disciplined DBs for this coming up game, though. It seems like, let's see, the Chiefs. It seems like the Chiefs have someone wide open every play. Emmanuel says that. That's so true, man. You want to know why? It's because they're playing backyard football. They're coming back to the ball. They see Mahomes roll out one way and then come back the other way. Okay, now they're going this way. They're going, either somebody's going up, somebody's coming back to them, somebody's going towards the sideline. That's how they're getting open. And it's very frustrating watching that happen to your defense, but that's exactly how they do it. And I think we need to do the same thing.
Yeah, I 100% agree. I was watching some of Mahomes' Texas Tech highlights, and he made a lot of mistakes in college. And credit to him and the Chiefs for just grooming him, that he cut down those mistakes immensely. Now, he threw a red zone pick yesterday, which I was surprised.
Yeah.
I feel like he tried to force that in, but my thing is the Raiders gave him way too much time. They gave him way too much time, and then Jonathan Abram, their safety, just had a mental error, and that left Kelsey wide open in the end zone. So.
Just watching Mahomes make that drive, because I watched that game too, and just watching him make that drive to just go win the game, I was so jealous as a Ravens fan. I was just like, why can't we just do that? Oh man, we were doing it last year, even though we didn't really need to get game-winning drives last year. But
I'll just tell the Ravens fans, the media tries to plot Ravens fans and Chiefs fans against each other. I have respect for them, so
big respect.
And the whole Lamar Mahomes thing, Don't buy into that. I respect that team. They are a great team. They're my pick to win Super Bowl again. Yeah, except when he's playing against us. That's the only time.
Definitely.
But they're just
so
great.
Good, man. He's so good. Our guy Kenny Silverman, he says we need different formations, like the bunched wide receivers. I think that's so true, man. I like that idea a lot. I think we just need to run different formations, even outside of lining where our wide receivers line up. Put Lamar, under center more. Throw teams off.
We did see him more yesterday under center. I liked it. I was happy. It was different.
It's different. Give them different looks. We need to be forging a new identity, as we said. So let's see.
To come back with the bunch, I know a big thing in today's NFL is kind of the pick play. Okay.
Yeah.
Why not have Hollywood, Duvernay, and Dez lined up in a bunch? Use Dez as a big guy, maybe pick somebody within 5 yards. Somebody's open. And that's a great – I haven't even thought about that until now. Or maybe or Boykin, a big guy, maybe to take somebody out. Play physical, like we said. That could win us the game.
That's what we need to do, man. And, next thing you know, Hollywood's getting open, catching passes, getting his confidence back up because we're being creative in the way that we use our wide receivers. So, somebody get on the phone with Greg Roman. But let's see. Our guy Michael says, Michael the Hawks fan, he says, do you think the Ravens will sign Allen Robinson this offseason?
I'd love to.
I don't see it happening, though.
No. But if the Bears front office still wants to just keep him and his agency unhappy, I'm all for it because he'll leave him as a free agent. So why not? But I don't think we will. But he's definitely somebody who I think is that big body receiver who's a dog. We would definitely take him.
Yeah. Let's see. Our guy Zay King 56. He says if we Beyblade let it rip on Big Ben, we could bring back the intimidation factor. That wins us games. That's another big thing too. I saw somebody earlier in the chat say nobody's fearing the Ravens right now on either side of the football, and that's a huge problem. Like we need to establish our dominance again. So let's see. Somebody says Tim says Dez needs to go to tight end. He'll have linebackers around him more. That's true, but I like him out wide. I like him at
If anybody
receiver.
would be Boykin, but
Yeah.
I don't see him moving to a tight end, to be honest.
Yeah. Evan Dixon says his opinion on an offensive fix: spread it out, 4 or 5 wide like the Cardinals.
That's true. Speaking of the Cardinals, we actually previewed the game, the Thursday night game. That was a really good game. Really good game.
That was.
So
You ended up being right about that.
see, I mean, I'll be honest. I wasn't expecting Carlos Dunlap to have the effect he did. I'm just happy he's not in the AFC North anymore because he was doing that to Ravens quarterbacks for years. So I'm happy he's out of the AFC North.
Yeah. Let's see. KLA Sports, another keys to victory for the Steelers game. He says, do not blitz. 4-man rush, like we were saying before. Watch the screens and the middle. Offense needs to run the ball. Establish the run and get tricky play action rollouts. Man.
Can somebody take this comment, put it, and just send it to the castle? Like, honestly, like if we can just do that. If we literally played that game and we lost, I wouldn't be mad because we did everything we could and we just were simply beat by the better team.
Yeah.
But
we definitely another big thing, I saw somebody else say it in the chat earlier too. We can't beat ourselves, man. We have to stop beating ourselves, and unforced errors and things like that is how we do that. Like, against the Patriots, we had those, those snaps, those terrible snaps, like and then Lamar throwing it up to Hollywood one-on-one, when you don't need to be throwing the ball up to Hollywood one-on-one when somebody's like step for step with him.
And it's J.C. Jackson. He is an all-pro corner, I think, playing the all-pro level this year. I'm not saying his old, but this year he is playing lights out, one of the best corners right now in the league. Yeah. And that was just a force the whole way. And like you said.
Yeah. Let's see. Our guy... Okay, didn't mean to do that. Let's see. Falou says, do you think we have weapons and we're just not using them? I definitely think we have weapons, man. We've seen it. We saw it last year. We saw Hollywood Brown. We saw Mark Andrews. We saw them all get involved on this offense, a lot more than they are now. And a lot of that, it comes down to game planning. And game planning is done by coaches. And our offensive coach, our offensive coordinator is Greg Roman, and he's not known to be like the super creative on offense when it comes to passing the football. He's very good at running the football, that's for sure, but when it comes to pass concepts and things like that, he's really historically not been that great. You can even take it back to like Colin Kaepernick, like I think we were mentioning on another episode back in 2012 when he was the offensive coordinator with them. They were primarily a running football team, and they didn't really pass the ball all that much. It's just the creativity and the play calling that needs to get so much better in order for us to actually see the weapons that we have on our team. What do you think, though?
Definitely agree with you. Like you said, you brought it up. And that 2012 Niners team had Michael Crabtree in his prime, Randy Moss, Vernon Davis, Frank Gore. I think it was Michael James. Kind of my memory. I'm not too sure if that was his name. I think it was because he only went to Oregon. And they had somebody else too. So they had more weapons than we did. And they got to the Super Bowl, and I remember from that game, like Gore broke off that run, and surprise, they got to the red zone and couldn't score a touchdown when they needed it the most. Sound familiar? I mean,
man, it's just like remember that video we were watching on last week's episode, where like nobody was getting open on that one play.
Yep, and Lamar had to run it himself.
Yeah.
Yep.
And Lamar, let's see. Canyon Schuster says Lamar is a running back. Everyone knows you guys are one-trick ponies. Everyone figured you guys out. People read you like books.
So if Lamar's a running back, I guess Cam Newton's a running back, Josh Allen's a running back, Kyler Murray's a running back. I mean,
the whole Lamar's a running back thing, I think that's totally, I think that's stupid. I'm not going to lie to you, man. But everyone knows you guys are a one-trick pony. Everyone figured you guys out. and read us like books, I agree. Look, man,
That
I
can get him.
agree.
Yeah,
Like,
we've been saying that the past couple episodes.
We've been saying that. Like, Greg Roman has not, shown us anything that would suggest that he made adjustments in the offseason to, prepare for teams figuring out what we did last season. So we definitely agree with you that there. We just hope that we get better in that area. Yes. And Emmanuel says the running back doesn't throw 36 touchdowns and lead the league, might I add, in touchdown passes. So let's see.
Man.
Yeah. But let's see. Yeah, they're going at him in the chat now. That is pretty funny. But he is the reigning unanimous MVP. Lamar Jackson is. And I think that he will get better. I think we'll be fine. There's just a couple things that need to be cleaned up, like on offense, for us to be able to really, really get back to where we were. And those couple things, it starts with Greg Roman, like we've been saying. Like, I don't know. I think it actually starts with Harbaugh. Forget that. It starts with Harbaugh. I think that Harbaugh, as the head coach of this team, he needs to do some reevaluating. He needs to do a lot of coaching, head coaching, because yesterday's game, it was a team loss, a full team loss. So that means that it wasn't solely on the offense, it wasn't solely on the defense, it wasn't solely on special teams, it wasn't solely on the coaching either. But when that happens and all of those problems come to a head together, who's that on? The head coach. You know what I mean? So I think he definitely needs to, make those adjustments himself and be doing everything that he needs to do, which I'm sure he is. Shout out to John Harbaugh. He's a fabulous coach. But I think that sometimes he doesn't take control enough. Like, he's not like a Mike Vrabel where it's just like he's just, I don't know, man. Like, Emmanuel, he says Harbaugh's too soft.
I agree with that. I mean, I know you like him, and I honestly really am not a big Harbaugh fan. Like,
I like Harbaugh.
I just don't see like what he does right. Like, 2017, he was on the hot seat. Lamar comes in and says his job. That's just, I don't know. Like, he's a player's coach. Simple as that. And we see him on the sideline screaming half the time. I don't know. I feel like he's way too loyal to his coordinators. Like, you're gonna step in when Greg Roman isn't doing anything right. Wink does his thing. I love Wink Martindale, but just
let's see. So, all right, real quick, I wanted to touch on this. Just kind of diverting from the Ravens, take a little breather from the Ravens, really quick.
Please.
Tim Honeycutt says, can we talk about Dalvin Cook running himself into a grave? Jesus, that guy just takes punishment. And that is so true, man. Like, they give him the ball, sub 30 times a game.
Easily.
And,
Easily.
He's getting banged up. I was watching that game yesterday against the Cowboys, and, he was hurt on a couple plays.
Yeah.
So, I don't know, man. But
I was watching that game, too. CeeDee Lamb, man, he is a problem.
Nice.
We talked about it a few episodes ago. The rookies in this year's wide receiver class, absolutely, the potential there, all around, it's nasty. I mean, and I even know Denzel Mims from the Jets, who was like a second or third round pick, he had a good game yesterday.
Oh, really?
And Justin Jefferson, he had a great Jefferson. He's just a monster, absolute monster. So I really hope that the Vikings don't run Dalvin Cook into the ground. I know they gave him that contract because I just don't want to see him be the next running back. That the what he could have been. You guys got backups for a reason. Because Derrick Henry was off the field for a little bit. They weren't. I mean, I know he's the focal point of the offense, but they take him off. They don't just run him into the ground.
Yeah. Let's see. So, by KLA Sports, he says offense needs to do misdirections like the Chiefs. Pump fake to the left and hit Andrews on the screen. But Duvernay in the backfield and fake him, or put Duvernay in the backfield and fake to him and pitch to Dobbins. I agree with plays like that, creative plays like that, and we just haven't seen any of it this year. And
open the playbook up.
Open up the playbook. Why not? But execution is a major thing. We need to have the execution down to a T if we're going to be, calling plays like that. And we did it last year. It brings me back to against the Cardinals, week two last year. We had that one touchdown to Mark Andrews where we faked the screen to the receiver and then threw it over the top to Mark Andrews. That worked beautifully. Haven't seen anything like that this year. Nothing. Really.
Where's that been?
I have no idea.
It's like we just have that basic playbook in Madden. Like we have to work our way up to get the next more plays. Like,
It's like,
come
what's
on,
up with
like
that, man?
I know we have more in there.
Yeah. Yeah, man. Let's see. Scoop before down. Let's see. Wow. These guys are still talking about Lamar. Why not? Let's talk about it. Let's talk about it. Canyon says Lamar has 15 touchdowns and 6 picks. That's garbage. Look at Mahomes, Russell Wilson, Kyler Murray, and Josh Allen. They all run the ball and yet still throw the ball and win games. Just because you're a mobile QB doesn't mean run all game. Okay.
I can take this over real quick if you want me to.
Go ahead, bro.
Mahomes, look at his weapons. Tyreek Hill, McCole Hardman, Sammy Watkins, Travis Kelce, Clyde Edwards-Helaire, Le'Veon Bell, Russell Wilson, DK Metcalf, Tyler Lockett, Chris Carson. Come on, Kyler Murray. I mean, literally, Larry Fitzgerald, Kenyon Drake. They had the backup Edmonds. Then they have Hopkins. And then Josh
Hopkins.
Allen. Then Josh Allen. You trade for Stephon Diggs to get even better on a team. Like, okay, yes, they are building around their quarterback. And our front office invested $40 million on our offense and $140 on the defense. That is an issue too. Right. So, like, maybe if Lamar has some better players around him and better coaches that believe in him and like want him to actually, develop, maybe we'll see more. But all I'm saying is that what you saw from him last year, you'll never see from a quarterback again. Simple as that.
Right. And Canyon, my question to you is, because I assume you're not a Ravens fan, obviously, but who is our number one wide receiver? Who's our wide receiver one right now? And your answer will be very, very telling. Let's see. We'll move on from that.
I see my guy Jason's in here. That guy's been rocking with my channel for like over a year now. So shout out to him. Like he is an OG Ravens fan. You can talk, like, he will bring up players I completely forgot about like before my time. So like if you want to talk about like OG, that is him. So shout out to you.
Shout out Jace Woods, man. Thank you for joining the stream. Let's see. Our guy says Lamar needs to go to a better team. All right. What's up with you guys today, man?
Lamar hate, man.
Why is it all on Lamar, man? What is it? Come on, man. Lamar does his thing, right? He obviously has not had the same season that he's had last year, but people are blatantly, and when I say blatantly, I mean blatantly ignoring the pieces that we had last year and don't have this year. Starting with the offensive line, we lost Marshall Yanda, and I know the whole, like I said before, the whole next man up is how everybody's gonna say, think about it, but like the fact of the matter is we lost one of like a Hall of Fame right tackle or right guard. So if we lose somebody like that, our offensive line is going to be worse. And then we lost Ronnie Stanley, so there's less protection for Lamar.
Like we lost and Hall of Fame. Like
Hall of
Yanda
Fame
is one of the best to ever do it.
Yeah. So obviously there's going to be struggles.
Me on that. Like, come on.
There's struggles, but like I don't think that it's fair necessarily for people to just be like, oh, like just to write Lamar off. Those are just people who want to be right about Lamar. Yeah. Who just the whole time like, oh, it's not going to work, and last season was an anomaly. Those type of guys. Let's see.
Okay. The Ravens just released their practice, like the injury report. Okay. They just had their walkthrough. That's weird. Because of the COVID, they were closed earlier. So Calais Campbell and Jimmy Smith didn't practice. I swear, Jimmy Smith every week is always something. Mark Andrews, Matt Judon, and Tyree Phillips all limited. So there's only 5 guys in the injury report this week. Obviously, no Brandon Williams because he is not in the building. He's on the COVID list. Yeah. So we're getting back up there with health. LJ Ford not on the injury report. That's good. Kind of just a worry is just Jimmy Smith. We'll need him for Thursday easily.
Yeah, we definitely will. Man, it's just I'm tired. I don't expect us to really win games without having Calais Campbell and Brandon Williams. Teams are gonna see that hole in our defense and they are going to exploit it, kind of like how the Titans did yesterday. Because you got to think, imagine us having a Calais Campbell and a Brandon Williams on that overtime play when Derrick Henry scored that touchdown. I don't think he's getting through that line with those two guys. Like honestly. That's just me. So until we get them back, I don't think that we're gonna have like, I don't think we're gonna really have too much fun playing these other teams. But
we're not here making excuses either. Like
they're not excuses.
We're
just
being honest. Like we lost. Yes, we're just hypothetically saying. So I think we're two of the realest Ravens fans you'll meet. We literally both said we're going to lose our last game. We didn't say we're going to win it. We said we're going to lose this week's game. Like, we're not drinking that purple Kool-Aid. We're honest and real fans.
Yeah, and part of being honest and real is acknowledging your injuries and acknowledging like the deficiencies on your team. So, yeah, but Tim Honeycutt says people don't acknowledge the linemen ever. That is where the games are won, in the trenches. That's how it's always been. And I also said this last week. I said this game will be won or lost in the trenches, just like every other football game is. Easily. And what happened? We lost in the trenches down the stretch, and we lost the football game. So it is what it is, man. Yeah, so let's go into some just score predictions for this Thursday night game.
Oh, man.
Coming up. What do you think the final score will be between the Pittsburgh Steelers and the Baltimore Ravens?
I'll go with 30-20 Steelers. I think that's fair.
30-20.
Yeah, I mean, I like to have faith in my team, but I'm just going to be real here. Like, we're at the point where we have to be rooting for other teams to lose just for us to make the playoffs.
Yeah, we need help.
Yeah. And I mean, we got help. The Dolphins lost yesterday. Shout out to Drew Lock. Like, I really like Drew Lock, and shout out to the Chiefs for beating the Raiders. But and also, I'm gonna mention this now. We are now Titans fans because we need the Titans to win their division, because that would mean we would be fighting with the Colts now, and we beat the Colts in head-to-head. So we have that tiebreaker of the Colts, and also a big game against the Browns too. So if we can beat the Browns, and I would say go 10-6, 11-5, I think we'll make the playoffs. But the Browns are for real. Like, I have never said that in my 21 years of living, but the Browns are for real. So,
and it's crazy how we're literally third in our division right now.
Yeah, and
that's embarrassing.
It is. But that's how the level of standard that we're used to. We're used to being, first or second, minus the 2015 year we went 5-11. Yeah. But that we had like 20-some players in the IR that was just crazy.
Yeah, I think that my final score prediction for this game is probably going to be, I would say, 27-24. I think it'll be close. I think, Ravens Steelers, it's always close. It always comes down to the last drive, sometimes even the last play, just like last time out. I think that we will get outplayed for the majority of the game. I think the offense is going to struggle, mainly because, we are missing, Dobbins and Ingram for one. Offensive line still banged up as usual. Yeah. And I just don't see Greg Roman really getting it together against the Steelers. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like, the Steelers are probably one of the most stout defenses in the league. So I feel like we kind of get, doused a little bit on offense, and I think we end up falling short by about 3 points. We'll have the opportunity to win, and then we'll come on this podcast next week, and we'll be very, very angry that we didn't win. You know what?
If Lamar can just go down that, like, if it is like 27-24 and Lamar takes us down and wins the game, I'm getting drunk on this podcast next week. Come on, screw it. Like, Lamar will shut everybody up. Yeah, my word. But like I said, I don't think it's gonna happen. But
yeah,
it'd be awesome to win it. But I just can't. But you know what? Why not? Why not go into Heinz Field, the underdogs? This person out, that person out. This person hurt, that person hurt. Go in there and just win it. Shut up everybody on primetime television.
Yeah.
Like, we're the underdogs. Like, people aren't picking us anymore. Like, we're not the ESPN. We're not their favorite people now. Okay, screw it. Go in there and just prove them wrong. Nobody wants to see us win. And Lamar talked about that, like how people don't want to see us win. And he's getting clowned for that because they don't. Lamar is the most hated player in the league. He is the most humblest player, but also the most hated. Don't know how that happens, but that's how it is.
Yeah, man. And the crazy thing about it is, if we win this game, we are right back in it. Like, if you beat a team like the Steelers on prime time on Thanksgiving, and the undefeated Steelers at that, like, we're gonna be right back at it. Like, we're gonna be right back in the mix. Yeah, that's a statement game, a huge statement game, and I think our team understands that. It's just a matter of, can we execute, and what kind of game plan can we stick to that game plan? If that game plan isn't working, can we, adapt throughout the game and make those adjustments? It's gonna be a good game. I think it'll be a good game. If I'm betting my money on it, which I don't gamble on sports and stuff like that, but if I had to, I'd probably go with the Steelers. Just me taking myself out of being a Ravens fan, taking myself out of it. I probably have to go with the Steelers realistically.
As a neutral, I mean, simple as that.
Yeah.
So now we talked about the Titans, talked about the Steelers. I got a question for the chat. I'm getting a new Ravens jersey soon because I have a Lamar and a Hollywood. Who should I get? I'm thinking Queen. Thinking maybe Deshaun Elliott. I love Deshaun Elliott.
Yeah.
Anybody else like? Because I want to get somebody who's gonna be here for like the long run. Maybe a Mark Andrews.
Yeah, I think a Mark Andrews is a safe one.
Okay. Maybe J.K. Dobbins. I was thinking of that too.
It's like if you're gonna get an offensive player, it's about like volume. It's kind of like fantasy football. You want a guy who's like very involved in our offense, and a J.K. Dobbins is a great fit. I think Mark Andrews is an even better fit, because Andrews is probably one of our best receivers. But let's see. KLA says Humphrey or Elliott. I think Humphrey's a really good option too.
That's a good one.
Love a
the
Humphrey
44, the 44 as a corner.
About it.
It's just straight dog. I love it.
Yeah, I love that. Let's see. The Joker, Deshaun Elliott. Yep.
I'm just happy he's staying healthy. This is what I think we all expected out of him. I mean, he really hasn't made that many mistakes. His only bad game, I'd say, was against the Chiefs. But besides that, he's been the most consistent player on the defense. Just to me.
Kenyon says Hollywood Brown.
Who's Hollywood?
Right. Are you referring to Marquise?
Yes. Marquise, yes.
Yeah. Marquise Brown. Until further notice. Let's see. Zay King says Stanley. Stanley's that's a underrated sleeper.
Here's my thing. See, yeah. I'm a smaller guy. I'm skinny. So me wearing like a 79, like offensive lineman or a defensive lineman jersey just doesn't look right. Like I've always wanted to get like an Aaron Donald jersey because I think he's the best player like overall in the league. But me wearing a 99 just wouldn't look right.
But I don't know, man. I think that you throw on a hoodie and then throw it over top of the hoodie or something like that. It'd probably be cool. It
is about to be that cold weather here in Baltimore.
Yeah, I think Stanley's actually a pretty good one.
Stephanie
says Derrick Henry.
That's the king. I mean, the Titans do have nice jerseys. That's King Henry. They do have very nice jerseys. I'll give them that.
Who do you think has top three jerseys? Top three jerseys in the league. Go.
Can I go so jerseys right now are like all time like throwbacks too.
Just right now.
Okay.
Keep it current.
The Rams have nice jerseys. The Bucks have beautiful jerseys.
Yeah.
And I don't know. That's a really good one. Definitely the Bucks. Definitely the Rams. The Rams got clowned for theirs when they first came out, but the way they wear them, that's a really good question.
You guys in the chat Jets. Answer this too.
You know what? Seahawks. You cannot go wrong with the Seahawks.
That's what I was going to say.
They're
Seahawks,
lime green.
Oh, yeah.
Honorable mention the black Cardinals jerseys and the black Ravens jerseys too.
Mm-hmm,
Something about that black.
Yeah. There's something about that. Seahawks have the best jerseys. I really like theirs. CD jerseys, so Cowboys jerseys. Cowboys jerseys.
The Cowboys Thanksgiving jersey. That's always nice.
Oh, the white and blue, the solid white and blue ones.
With the stars on it.
That's a nice jersey. Nice. I like that. I like that set as well. Let's see. Chris
Even
says the
Lions.
Panthers.
Ooh, yes.
The Panthers do have some pretty cool jerseys.
Because they have like the light blue pants and the black pants. They can definitely mix around their combo. It's also mixing the combo up too. Like the Ravens need to pull out the black jersey, purple pants again.
That would be dope. We definitely need to see more of that. We had black jerseys, white pants this past game, right?
Yeah, and also since we're talking about just football straight up, prayer to Joe Burrow.
The Chargers.
Oh, yes.
Chargers. They're my favorite right now. They are my favorite right now.
Honestly, it's not the powder blue. The dark blue ones go like the navy. They go crazy.
They go
because I think of LaDainian Tomlinson just running over people in that jersey.
Yes.
Chargers.
Gosh.
How could I forget?
Right. Yeah, I knew we were missing somebody. Something we were missing, but those are really nice jerseys.
I think it's easier to say who has like the bad jerseys compared to the good ones.
Yeah. Who do you think has the worst jerseys? Worst jerseys.
The Browns.
I'm
going with the Browns. Yeah. Just that color scheme. Because I would have said the Washington football team, but their new, like what they did with like the numbers on the helmet, I really like that.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. Yeah. It's giving me like Alabama vibes.
Yeah, Alabama vibes. Yeah. I like it.
Yeah. Yeah.
The Texans, their red jerseys are clean too. This team's alternate jerseys that's the way to go. Now, if we're talking throwbacks, the old Buccaneer creamsicle, they go crazy. The Oilers
Those are
jerseys,
nice,
they go
yeah.
crazy.
I like
And
those.
the old Seahawks jerseys with their old logo, absolutely, and the old Rams jerseys too.
Oh yeah, the St. Louis Rams jerseys. Yeah, those are actually pretty nice as well. Let's see here. Before we go ahead and wrap up for tonight's episode, listen, man, we actually have 34 people in here watching live, which
Shout out
is
to you.
amazing. Shout out to all of you guys watching right now. This is the most live viewers that we've had so far. This is only episode 5 of this podcast. You can expect more Ravens content coming soon. If you're enjoying what you're hearing or what you're watching, go ahead and leave a like on the video, and also subscribe to our channel. We just hit 100 subs. We're trying to get way more than that. You know what I mean? So go ahead and sub to us, and we appreciate you guys again for coming through.
Thank you.
And, thank you guys so much for hanging with us tonight. But you were saying something about Joe Burrow.
Yeah. So actually, before we go, I want a few things. Got to get to a fantasy, how we did this week. I know it's not over yet.
Yeah.
And the Monday night game. So before we get to that, Joe Burrow, I believe he's going to be a star in this league. Build around him. He's going to get the Bengals back to the playoffs. I hate seeing someone like that just go down with like such a crucial injury. Like, I know we're Ravens fans, but we both respect the hell out of Joe Burrow. He's a baller.
He's
good. Just like, and also Monday night tonight, Bucks and Rams. Who do you guys got? Let's talk about that.
Yeah, I forgot about the Monday night.
It's a good game.
Bucks and
good
Rams.
Game.
That is a good game. I got the Bucks though, honestly.
Okay.
I got the Bucks.
I do too.
It's going to be a close game. I think it'll be close. I think the Bucks win by a touchdown, honestly.
Okay.
Yeah. If I had to predict.
I got the Bucks too. I like the Rams, like really good team, really good coaching, but I feel like just the Bucks offense, the way they played against the Panthers last week, I think Brady had 4 or 5 touchdowns. Once they get on fire, man, it's going to be hard. I know Jalen Ramsey, he'll be locking somebody up. They got Troy Hill, they got Darius Williams, former Raven. Really mad we let him go, but he's really stepped up.
Right.
But it's just, you have Mike Evans, Chris Godwin, Gronk, and AB. That's just, it's going to be hard to stop that. And if Ronald Jones played like he did last week when he broke off a 98-yard run, got Fournette, it's going to be hard to stop that offense.
Yeah.
Very hard.
Ramsey can't cover everybody.
No.
So, I definitely got the Bucks taking that one. But like I said, again, I think it should be a good game. Definitely go check that out. I think it starts in about 30 minutes here. Definitely we'll be checking that out.
My favorite segment is talking about fantasy.
Fantasy football.
I want to hear if you won this week, if you lost this week, or if your game comes down to tonight's game. Let's hear about it.
So for me, I won this week. My opponent's already played all his players. He's got 118 points. I've still got I've got the Rams defense tonight, but I'm already winning by 7. So I won this week. But my top performers this week, Justin Herbert got me 37 fantasy points. He threw for 3 touchdowns, 366 yards. So he definitely did his thing for me. Justin Herbert's probably one of my favorite fantasy players this year.
Offensive rookie of the year. Simple as that. If you don't think it's Herbert, come on. It's Justin, that man. With or without the hair, he's balling.
Yeah, he's balling. Oh yeah, I forgot he cut his hair now. So now post haircut, he's playing amazing. I know it's only been one.
And they won too.
They won. Yeah, because they weren't winning even when he was performing recently. So, but he was one of my top performers this week. I also had in the running back position, I had Derrick Henry against us. And that last second touchdown, I was mad about it, but my fantasy team definitely enjoyed that. And I might not have won this week if not for that play. So, Derrick Henry, he got me 19 fantasy points. He carried the ball 28 times, rushed for 133 yards, and, of course, that 1 touchdown at the end. So he was a top performer,
Am I wrong to say if he doesn't get that big chunk touchdown, we hold him to under 100? Is that correct? Was that a 33-yard run or more?
Or
is
I think it was 30.
Okay.
I can't remember where they were.
Yeah.
Let's see. Then just the last big performer on my team, I also have Tyreek Hill. Tyreek Hill, he had 11 catches for 102 and a touchdown, which is
they couldn't contain him. They couldn't contain him last night.
Not at all. Nope. But
so good week for you overall.
Good week for me, yeah. But how about you though?
All right. Can I just set the scene real quick? I'm down
41
points going into the Sunday night game.
Ooh.
I got a man by the name of Clyde Edwards-Helaire and a man by the name of Travis Kelce still to play. All right, I'm down by like 4 points. So I wanted the Raiders to lose because my Ravens. I want us to be in the playoff picture. So I'm like, you know what? If the Raiders score here, give Mahomes the ball one more time and just why not? Let's see what he can do. So I'm down 4 points here. Kelce has to catch him down 1 point. And I see Mahomes step back and throw that final touchdown to Kelce. I'm happy the Chiefs score, but I see it's Kelce. I won 134 to 127. I'm still in the playoff race. So my top performer was Travis Kelce. Josh Allen is my quarterback. He was on a bye. So I had Joe Burrow. And, man, I said prayers to him. But I benched Curtis Samuel and Michael Pittman, who I told people to start last. I'm like, start Michael Pittman. And he got 15 points. But big win for me this week. And I have even a bigger game next week. So we'll be talking about this next week, next Monday, since we don't talk on Thursday. So if you have any fantasy help, drop it right now. We'll be able to help you.
Yeah. If you need any advice, have any questions about your fantasy team, should you trade this player for that player? Should you bench this guy next week? Should you pick this guy up off the waivers? Let us know. So would you say you
won your trade from a week ago? I know you traded. Did you win it?
So far, no. That's the crazy thing because I traded away Dalvin Cook and Keenan Allen to get Derrick Henry and Tyreek Hill. And Dalvin Cook had 24 this week, I believe.
Had a big game.
And Keenan Allen had a huge game, but I was okay with it again because I have Justin Herbert. So, him having a good game resulted in Justin Herbert having a good game. So let's see. Yep.
I see there's a little conversation about the rookie of the year now. It's between Claypool and Jefferson and Herbert. Ooh. See, my thing is, last year I think Josh Jacobs deserved it more than Kyler Murray, but the quarterback got it just because of the quarterback. I think that might happen again this year, and they give it to Herbert. But Claypool does make a strong case, and as well as Jefferson.
Very strong case. I really like Chase Claypool, man. Everybody knows that when I was on Sonny's and Joe Nubo's channel, I was, before the draft, I was like, we should get Claypool, and everybody's like, no, we don't need Claypool, but Claypool's been balling. I think he definitely is, in that contending spot for Rookie of the Year, along with, I don't think Justin Jefferson is quite on his level, at least not right now, in terms of Rookie of the Year contention, but Claypool he's definitely probably my leading candidate right now, So
I feel like it's got to be Herbert. We'll see what happens with the Chargers. Say they maybe get closer to 500, and I think because he'll turn it around. And he didn't even play in the first game. Yeah. So that's also a factor we got to put in there too.
But that's the thing though. Like Herbert is losing, the majority of the games. Like he's playing well, he's performing well, but he's not winning the games. And the Steelers are undefeated. So it may be like you said, they might go with the quarterback because the quarterback position, they kind of hold on a higher pedestal. I agree with you, but I definitely would not be mad at seeing, Claypool, neither of them, Claypool or, Justin Herbert. I think they both are well deserving, especially to this point in the season, but we'll have to see how it pans out for the rest of the season. Let's see. Coach of the Year, Mike Tomlin.
Easy.
Easy. I definitely agree with that. That's definitely a good take there. And then overall MVP right now, who do you think's in the league?
I can't give it to Russell Wilson. I can't give it to Kyler now because of the way he played last week.
That's a tough question.
I want to say Mahomes.
You can give it to Mahomes, honestly.
Yeah. I feel like it's kind of a crime me not mentioning Ben Roethlisberger, but he's just playing well. He's not playing great, but he's doing enough to get the Steelers to win. And you can't hate on that. You can't hate on that.
Right.
Man, I feel like Ben will be in the discussion because, like we said, you saw him when he got hurt last year. The Steelers were just bang average. But if you're asking me right now, I'm going to go Mahomes, but I feel like if there's anybody who can maybe take it over, it's Josh Allen. If he balls out the second half of the year, I feel like he can maybe take it.
Yeah. Josh Allen, he's definitely another contender for that MVP. But I think that if Mahomes and company, they win the rest of their games, I don't know the rest of their schedule right now, but if they win the rest of their games and Mahomes looks good, man, every time I watch Patrick Mahomes play, I always think to myself, he's the best player in this league right now. So
it's not fair.
It's not fair. It's like I watch him play, and I'm like, I hate this guy because he's so good, but I love him because he's so good as well. Yeah. And I definitely think he will make a very, very strong case for MVP when it's all said and done at the end of this season.
I feel like also we have to mention, like I said, I think Aaron Donald's like as a player, I'm not saying no matter the record, but as a player, he is just on a level, and he's up here and nobody else is even here. Like he's just different. And I don't know if you watched the Colts-Packers game yesterday, but the way Stephen A. Smith says it, Aaron Rodgers, he's a bad man. I know they lost.
Yeah.
I know they lost, but the fact he got them back in the game because he was in his own end zone, drops back on his back foot, throws it up in a triple coverage, and they make the get. Like, he is a bad man. And I'm happy I can say I watched Aaron Rodgers play because he's somebody who I feel like we'll be talking about in like 20, 30 years, like one of the best to ever do it.
Oh, definitely. And the crazy thing is that Patrick Mahomes is the evolved version of Aaron Rodgers.
100%. And people forget, like, Aaron Rodgers, he would run too. Like, he wasn't just a pass. He would run. Like, those old Packer teams, man, like, growing up watching them, they were different. They were different. Man. Yeah, definitely think that Mahomes, Aaron Rodgers, he might make a case. What's the Packers record right now? Do you know? They're now, I think, 7-3. They lost to the Colts. Really, like, it's unfortunate. Marquez Valdez-Scantling, a really bad fumble in overtime, and it set the Colts up in perfect field position.
Yeah, that was pretty bad.
Yeah. So, defensive player of the year. Who are you thinking? I see some people saying T.J. Watt. It's not going to be Stephon Gilmore. He's been out for a few games.
Yeah.
I say if he was better, you can make a case for Marlon Humphrey, but between the COVID and this last game, it's not going to happen. I think T.J. Watt's kind of my pick.
Yeah, I definitely would agree. I think T.J.
Or Aaron Donald.
Aaron Donald, you can always give that award to because, like you said before, he's just different. He's leaps and bounds above the second place guy at his position. So, yeah, I mean, I definitely think T.J. Watt's a good choice. Just the way, even just watching him play against the Ravens, he's so good. He flies around the field. He's physical, very physical, and he's very smart as well.
I know dropping the coverage as well. He's not just a pass rusher.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, he can cover as well.
Like I said, we're Ravens fans, but we will give we're not scared to say Steelers are a better team than us right now. Like, we'll say it.
Yeah.
I know there's people out there, some Ravens fans who won't admit it. We're gonna admit it. It's simple as that. Like, we're realists.
Yeah, man, we're realists, and we're not gonna. There's no, as the kids would say, we're not gonna cap on this here podcast. We are going to.
We shall never cap. Never cap.
we're gonna talk the truth. I think somebody mentioned us on Twitter earlier and was saying how something about how we shouldn't come with bad energy for the Ravens, and I was like, I mean, we're just gonna speak the truth, we're not gonna just only talk up our guys. Like, if other teams are better than us, then we're gonna call that out. If other players are better than our players, we're gonna call that out. So
our guy Dominic, he's a big supporter of us, and he said, if we don't, I think he was speaking about kind of the media, like, if you don't have nothing good to say about that, keep that energy when it turns around. And I 100% agree with that. Like, if you were on the bandwagon last year, don't hop on it, if things turn around, and hopefully when things turn around, which I 100% agree with. Yeah,
shout out to Dominic. And Lamar, what did you think, just closing out here, what did you think of Lamar's Instagram post this morning? What he said, he was like, when shit gets together, don't come around and all of that stuff. What did you think about that?
I liked it. I feel like he's kind of just doing his thing. He's being that leader. He doesn't care. I'm cool with that. I'm pretty proud of myself for not cursing on here yet, because I was heated before. But I know both of us, it was bad before we got here.
Yeah,
definitely. But I like it. I feel like he knows there's the other level he has to hit, and hopefully he can hit that level.
Right.
When this turns around, because it's up. I love it. I mean, just be a dog, go win some games, and just prove all the haters wrong.
Yeah, and I think like we were saying before, the chip is back on our shoulder now.
Like the 2012, like that energy.
Yeah.
Nobody's gonna pick us. Okay, then prove the world. Shock them.
Yep. So that's pretty much gonna do it for us tonight, guys. We've been going for about an hour and 40. This This is our longest episode yet because you guys have been so great in the chat, in the chat section.
This is like my
Awesome
favorite episode so far.
Favorite episode. This was a lot of fun, and you guys
Even
have
after a
definitely been giving
loss.
us a lot.
Like
After a loss, we're always going to come on here. We're going to talk Ravens football. We're going to talk other NFL stuff. We're just going to have a good time. Win, lose, or draw, every time we're going to do that. So if you haven't already, we'll say it one more time. Make sure to like this video. It helps us out a ton. Liking the video helps us out a ton. You guys just don't even understand. It's a huge thing. So it goes a long way. Like the video. You guys are doing an amazing job, just interacting with us. We love to see what you guys are talking about in the chat, and then also subscribe to the channel as well. We're going to go ahead and get out of here. That's Alex Soberman, simply AS10. You can follow him down there below. He's got on that dope Towson hoodie. Shout out to Towson University. Yeah.
Towson Tigers, fun times. You of course can catch me on my YouTube channel, simply AS10 as well. Hope you guys know about that. I'm not just a Ravens YouTuber. Post all NFL on Sunday. If the weirdest plays happen, like yesterday, Andy Dalton caught his own pass, I'll post that. Just weird plays, highlights, all that. You can expect that over there. And,
tonight too, right? For tonight's game, you'll be watching tonight's game.
If anything happens tonight, I'll post it.
Yeah, so our guy Alex, he's always on it, man. Like you have to follow, you have to subscribe to his channel because for one, he's always getting the best plays on there, and number two, the edits that he puts together, it makes it look that much more exciting. So it's like definitely go ahead and subscribe to his channel. Follow him on everything. You see all his handles down there, Twitter and Instagram. You can find them. And I'm Sutton Def. You can find me on Twitter or Instagram at Sutton Def.
Follow him.
All the same. Yeah.
And when you follow him, why not cop some of his merch? Tell him about it. Tell him
Oler
about
Clothing. Olerclothing.com. You can actually find, let me see if I can show you guys a little bit here. We actually have some new stuff coming out right now. If you like other stuff like this, have some sweatsuits coming, but this is a sweatshirt. Overlooked, underrated is what Oler stands for, OLUR. So if you ever feel like you have a chip on your shoulder, you're overlooked, you're underrated, kind of like our Baltimore Ravens. Go ahead and shop some olerclothing.com.
Is that you as the model too?
That is me, actually.
You can do it all. Just drop us up for that. You can do it all.
I actually took that picture myself as well. I put my camera on a tripod. Yeah, because I'm a photographer. Yeah.
Yeah. If you don't know too, dope photographer. Seriously.
Appreciate that, bro. But yeah, we're gonna stop talking ourselves up here. We're gonna get out you guys' way, let you guys go watch some Monday Night Football. Thank you guys again for coming through. Yeah, definitely enjoyed that. We're gonna see you guys next Monday. We won't be here Thursday because Thursday's Thanksgiving, but
Happy
Monday,
Thanksgiving, everybody.
Happy Thanksgiving, everybody.
Enjoy
happy
the time.
holidays, right? Whatever it is that you may celebrate, happy holidays. But we appreciate you guys, and we're gonna catch you guys in the next one. Peace.
Stay positive. Test negative.